Yes.
Wait. I welcome you all to tonight's meeting. I thank you very much for taking the time to come out. We'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, if I may.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I may, I'd like to do introductions. David Haas, Eric Wahlberg, June Butler, Frank Pizzi, Andy Gilchrist, Tom Russell. I thank you again for coming tonight. And thank you for the little one. We're going to be civil. I ask you to be civil. If anyone cares to speak, I ask that you come to the podium. We ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes, so as to allow for other people to get their proper timing too. But we will run this in a very civil, organized manner, and we're all in post and kill and trying to do for the betterment of the town. And I thank you very much again for coming out. Okay, report on from the audit committee.
We reviewed the bills and found them good to be paid.
Thank you very much. Public comment period. Anyone care to make a public comment? Mr. Patno, please. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Supervisor Russell and Town Board. I have a procedural question which I'd like to address about the Water District Number 2. As we know, the Water District Number 2 had a public hearing in May, and Supervisor Hammond had left that open. I would like to confirm that the hearing is still technically open. It didn't close because there was a change of administration, that comments would still be received if the board would entertain them.
My impression is that the public hearing for the water is still open.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
That's correct.
I just wanted to put to rest any thoughts that it had closed. So you have confirmed what at least I thought was true, and you've said so. So thank you very much.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much,
it.
Greg.
And on that, my recollection was the board indicated it would renotice the public hearing to reconvene the public hearing when the board's ready.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say something first. All right, and this is to try and squash a little rumor that started going around in town. There was resident info got back to town clerk's office that there was an increase in our town taxes. This is not true. There was no increase in local town taxes. There was roughly 13 residents who were in the actual water district, but were never charged for the water. They were sent letters and advising them of the situation, but never responded. So because of that, the town clerk's office added the rate of $355 per individual in that group of 13 to their tax levy. And that was the reason for the increase in those particular individuals' taxes. The town has not raised its tax rate, and I just ask that that particular rumor be put to bed. Thank you very much. Okay, anyone else? Public hearing. Thanks for letting me talk. Okay, please. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Lee King, Record Farm Road. What I have to talk about this evening has really little to do with town governance, but is more of an appeal to the residents of Post and Kill who have handyman capabilities. And the reason why I'm putting this appeal out is because I'm working in affiliation with the Sky High Adventure Community Center. We are going to be having a repair cafe on May 18th. And to get prepared for this, we are going to be soliciting some capable people from the community. I'm sure that there are a lot of people here in Post&Kill who have the ability to repair such things as jewelry, toys, lawn and garden equipment, furniture, and things of this nature. Now, repair cafes, there are approximately 3,300 of them globally. And they are a community-oriented festive event which has some real environmental roots as well, and as well as putting in good stead people's financial interests, where you can well respect that if you have some kind of an item that you would like to have repaired rather than just throw it out, you can bring it to a repair cafe and you can have it repaired for free. The individuals who participate in a repair cafe may be small businessmen, they may be just handymen, and they are allowed to give the individuals their business card if what they happen to bring to a repair cafe cannot be repaired right there on spot. So it's not really an overt solicitation. It's more of a community festive spirit of a kind of a gathering. So my point in speaking this evening is to solicit from within the people here, as well as people who may be watching on Zoom. I will give you my name and a phone number where you can get in touch with me. I will also leave some brochures here if individuals on the way out care to pick up on this. So my name is Lee King, and I can be reached at 518-801-6130. And basically what I'm trying to do right now is to find out if there's any members of the community that want to join us. We're going to be going to a repair cafe at the Electric City Barn in Schenectady on February 3rd, just to see how it really does work. And then from what we gather on its workings there, we're going to take that and we're going to apply it at Shack over in Averill Park. So please feel invited, and I'm looking forward to your participation. Thank you.
Lee, thank you very much. Appreciate the time. Appreciate it in brief fashion. Other comments? Anyone? Please, Ms. Sargent.
Good evening. My name is Cheryl Sargent Ramsey. My husband is Scott Ramsey. I want to first say to the board, thank you for the introduction of the process here, where folks during the public comment period will have 3 minutes to speak. I would ask that the board consider a sign-in sheet. So then whoever would like to speak, you could ask for them to include their name, place of residence, and that way your clerk might be able to might be more appreciative in terms of keeping track of minutes during the meeting. We're also here tonight. Sorry, I forgot my address. We reside at 12 Heather Ridge Road, and we own 243 Bossburg Road. We're also here this evening because on Tuesday, January 9th, we wrote a letter to the town board members and to the new supervisor. And I want to take this opportunity to read to the public what our letter said. To Town Supervisor Russell and town board members, we own 243 Bossburg Road, which is at the end of a dead-end road. On Sunday, January 7th, we observed the town's snowplow trucks on our property at 3:28 a.m., a 2-axle truck, 6:19 a.m., a 2-axle truck, 9:37 a.m., a 1-axle truck, 1:21 p.m., a 1-axle truck, and 3:55 p.m., a 2-axle truck, plowing a significant portion of our land on the easterly side of Bossburg Road. Over the course of 13 hours on January 7th, for all of 5 to 6 inches of snow, the town plowed this area of our property 5 times when no other vehicles traversed this area. The plowing damaged our property. It significantly enlarged the area, bringing the edge now even more dangerously close to a steep drop off. The plowing dug up grass and dirt on our property. The plow blade pushed large boulders that we own that were located on the grass on the southerly end of the area to the easterly side of the area near the steep drop off. At 9:37 a.m., a town snowplow truck plowed over our posted and private property signs on a signpost, pushing them to the very edge of a steep drop off. The town's plows came dangerously close to the edge of the steep drop off. While observing the needless plowing, we held our breath and waited for the land underneath the snowplows to collapse. There is no reasonable explanation for the plowing activity that occurred on January 7th other than harassment with the intent to cause harm to our property. Once again, and I realize there are 2 new board members here, so I apologize for that. Once again, we are putting the town on notice that the town is to cease and desist trespassing on our land, which includes all snow plowing activities. We are also notifying the town that we won't be held liable for any foreseeable property damage, injuries to town employees, or damages to town vehicles, or any other damages for that matter, resulting from the town's reckless, dangerous, and harassing actions on our property. Thank you. That was my letter. I sent that at 7 p.m. We sent that at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, January 9th. The following morning, Wednesday, January 10th, the first thing in the morning, with no inclement weather, a town vehicle with a plow on the front of it drove through our property. There has been a documented multiple persistent instances of town vehicles on our property without our consent. And we want to make the town board, especially the new members, aware of this. And if you have questions for us, you are welcome to ask us those questions.
Because of the current situation, it has been even advised by the lawyer representing the town to not talk and have our lawyer and the lawyer talk in direct communication. I am not in a position to say anything right now. All right. But I thank you very much for taking the time to come up and read what your version of what transpired, and thank you very much.
Sure, and I'll just add to the members of the public, we've had many individuals contact us, people I've never met, never spoken to before. You're always welcome to contact us, ask us any questions about this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else care to speak up in the public comment section? Please.
Just a request.
Thank you, and thank you.
Lou Basil, 69 Abbott Drive. I'd like to request reserve some time on item 6C on your agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Basil, for coming up and addressing us. We appreciate that, sir. Anyone else? Please, ma'am. Thank you, Susan. And then recognize you for that being.
I have a question. My name is Susan Calicut, Thompson Road, Upper East Side of Postonville. It regards the Ethics Committee. I looked at the list. I couldn't make the meeting when you were doing the approvals of everyone's positions and the committee members. But I had a question about the folks on the Ethics Committee. Specifically, is there a chair of that committee?
At present time, as we're talking, no.
I'm asking, I know a question was brought to you, Andy, regarding residency and so forth, and that's why I was wondering. So then what happens with these committees? How are they established?
The Ethics Committee has been established for a while, and the Ethics Committee will be coming for a meeting. Mr. Gilchrist has been gracious enough to offer himself as advisor. and clarified that point with us. And then the ethics committee will come together and choose a chairperson.
Okay. That was my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Susan.
Correct, and I'll just note, while there may have been some list in the past about ethics board members, and the attorney being a member of the ethics board, I reviewed the code. In my opinion, the attorney, the town attorney, the position of attorney advising the town, likewise provides counsel to the Board of Ethics. So in my role as attorney for the town, I'll also be providing counsel to the Board of Ethics. And as such, the town, that position, the town attorney, should not, in my opinion, not be a member of the Board of Ethics. So the attorney should not be a member. The attorney provides counsel to the board. So in the event I'm listed as a member, that should be corrected. And if there are a resulting 4 members rather than 5, the board should look to appoint a 5th member. And then you're correct, Mr. Supervisor, the members of the Board of Ethics then chooses its chair.
Thank you very much, Andy. Anyone else? Okay. Correspondence. I'm not aware of any correspondence that we received. The end of December or January. Okay, has everyone had a chance to review the December 28th workshop, 2023 workshop meeting minutes?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we approve it.
Thank you, David.
I'll second.
Motion is moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving the December 28th, 2023 workshop meeting minutes? I'm sorry, I stand corrected. I cannot vote. I have to abstain. My bad.
The 3 of us will say aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, so it's 3-2. Thank you very much. Okay. Has everyone had a chance to review the meeting minutes from the January 4, 2024 organizational meeting?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve it.
Thank you very much, David. Anyone care to second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much, June. All those in favor of approving the January 4, 2024 organizational meeting minutes?
Just have one question. Was it for, the planning board alternate, was it 4-1 or was it 5-0?
And it was 5-0.
Okay. So, that's just to see, correct?
Okay. So as corrected, I make that motion.
Thank you very much. Okay, all those in favor of approving the corrected January 4, 2024 organizational meeting minutes?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Thank you.
If I could ask one question.
Please.
I was not able to attend the organizational meeting. As part of the appointments, was the chart identifying the salaries per position included? It was not. Okay. And so the minutes do reflect that on my council, the salaries for those positions did not need to be listed in the chart. When I saw the organizational materials, quite frankly, I thought that chart was going to be included in that. The town law does require the board, not necessarily at the organizational meeting, it does say from time to time, to establish the salaries for town officers and employees. So I understand you went through this in your budget process, but at some point, you should identify the salaries of the particular positions. I know that was put together as part of the organizational meeting, and it can be done in a subsequent meeting. As I said, the town law says from time to time, just for purposes of the record, having a chart of what the salaries per position are for the town, I think it'd be appropriate for the public for 2024.
Thank you very much.
Go back to, because what we understood to be true was just like the names and then the positions and then no salaries like we used to do. So is it just general
No.
fund?
No, that's, understand as part of the organizational meeting, that's appropriate. You can identify and appoint certain members to positions. All I'm saying is that the town law does require a board from time to time to set the salaries for town officers and employees. And I said, it doesn't necessarily need to be done at the organizational meeting, so your organizational meeting was appropriate, your minutes are proper. You went through the budget process and to establish the 2024 budget. And you don't need to do this, but one thing to consider would just be setting the salaries per position, per town employee or officer in a chart for 2024.
So everything is paid out of the general fund.
Correct, yes.
Maybe we can do that at our next meeting. Sure.
And again, I just raise it just for purposes of the record, and if anyone had requested that information, it's just put together. You don't need to glean that out of the 2024 budget.
Thank you, Randy. Okay, thank you for your patience with me. Liaison reports. Planning Board, Don, would you please? Thank you.
No problem. Donald Huckland, representing the planning board. At our last meeting, 2 days ago, actually, January 9th, we had only one item on the agenda. We had a report or a follow-up on the Orsini proposal for a event space on their property. The attorney for the Orsinis presented some answers to questions that we had previous meeting. We had some additional questions. He will then bring those answers to the next meeting. It's just an ongoing process to get the initial proposal in place. And that was it. We have a new chair, Rob Benz. We have a new alternate, Brandon Harris.
Thank you very much for mentioning that, Don. Appreciate it. Yep. Nicole, would you care to step forward to the zoning board? Thank you.
Nicole Hepelman, representing the zoning board. We had our meeting in December, and it was our organizational meeting. We put forth Tim Huffey to be our chairperson, and we recommended to the boards and one full-time person and an alternate. And our meetings are now going to be the third Thursday of the month, which our next meeting is going to be January the 18th, due to a conflict for one of our board members with his work schedule. So we decided that we could accommodate, so we moved our meetings to the third Thursday of the month.
Nicole, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Fire company. I'm sorry.
Evening.
I'm sorry, excuse my distraction.
Not a problem.
Please, thank you.
Ken McIntyre, I'm the new fire chief for the fire company. I took position as of the 1st of January.
Welcome.
Thank you. Last year, give you a report, last year was a pretty busy year. For the month of December, we did 30 runs. 17 of those runs were emergency medical calls. 13 of those runs were firematic related, with 3 structure fires, 2 wire related type emergencies, chimney fire, 1 motor vehicle accident, a couple fire alarm, carbon monoxide detector activations, 2 water problems, kind of a brush fire, and a mutual aid. So 30 runs for the month of January. The month of December, we were relatively busy. For the year 2023, we did 395 calls. So we are up again from 2022. Our call volume has increased. Just that's the way things are going on that. So roughly 62% of those calls are emergency medical calls, which is pretty much on task with the industry, firematic wise, relationship to firematic versus emergency medical calls. Want to thank you, especially Supervisor Russell and Tracy Church for coming out to us on Christmas morning, showing up at the fire scene. That was, a very tragic morning, very, very busy morning. But fortunately, the outcome, well, one structure was damaged through hard work by all of our members in our mutual aid departments, managed to save the main structure. And we appreciate you showing up. Coffee and the donuts and stuff like that are always appreciative. Yeah, we're not going to say no, but it was greatly appreciated. Your presence there, things of that nature did not go unnoticed. So far now for 2024, with our weather-related things, we are off to a rocket start. The past 48 hours with the weather has definitely shown with call volume, things of this nature. And we're in for another weather-related incident coming up this weekend, I should say. So we're gearing up for that as well. I just want to remind people out there that with the loss of power outages, things of this nature, using their own home generators, is to be very, very mindful of where you're putting them. We're already getting carbon monoxide calls because of places they're putting their generators in and then filling up their house with carbon monoxide, things of this nature. So we recognize the fact that when we have these weather-related emergencies, that we have to really be careful when using these generators and things of this nature in a safe manner, and to make sure you do have carbon monoxide detectors. It is required by law, okay, to have them in your house. But just make sure the batteries are good and that they are operating properly for safety.
Thank you very much for taking the time. Now, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Your numbers are from 2023 as opposed to 2022.
I don't have the figures from 2022.
I'm good now.
No
I'll have
problem.
to ask Mr. Basil when he gets a chance.
Wait a minute, hold on right now.
Thank you, Mr. Basil. Okay, thank you very much for taking the time to come up. Appreciate it, sir.
Here's the report in a larger font.
Okay, the joke on that is that the fire department had put up figures in a small font, and I gave Donnie a call and asked him, and the next time he could put, yeah, thank you. I'll do it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. But I just asked if you could do it a little larger font, and I thank you for the dig. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Okay. Library, please and thank you.
Kathy Place from the Board of Trustees.
Thank you very much for coming in.
December was a great month for us. We had a total of 774 visits. Our programming was very successful. We did a winter solstice celebration. We also had our second annual library lighting. There were over 150 people in attendance at that. Coming up in January, we have a teen taste test, which is going to be Hershey bars, where they get to figure out which ones they're tasting. We're also going to do a houseplant swap. That'll be on Thursday, the 18th. And there's going to be a snowplow story time, which will be on February 2nd. We have wonderful reactions to our story times when we have vehicles. So we really appreciate the fact that the town helps us out with that. There's a new program that our director has started for 24 birthday books. So stop in the library the month of your birthday and you get to pick out a free book. The thing that I find amazing about this is she collected all these books at no charge to the library. She got them from different locations free of charge. So she's turning that around to the public. We also have our winter reading program underway. It's called Some More Books this year, and it's all around the theme of s'mores. And finally, Chocolate Frenzy. There was a sign on the door that you might have noticed will be February 10th this year. So if you're interested in a lot of chocolate treats, be sure to sign up at the library. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I assume that the houseplant swap part is pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yes, you can bring
Bring one.
your indoor plant cuttings if you have them. plant babies, whatever you want to swap. And even if you don't have any, come because we'll probably have extras.
That's neat. That's cool.
Youth advisory. All right, if I can, oh, sorry, no. Okay. If I can make a quick note, all right. Kara Horton is for Postingkill, is the new youth advisory person. She's working with her sister Jenna, who is the Sand Lake Youth Advisory person. Right now, we're going back and forth is finding a home for the summer camp. The firehouse is gracious enough to allow us to go the first full week in July, which, if that option is needed, which is July 8th, if we cannot utilize a school building. We're most appreciative of that, and we'll keep you posted as we know more. And then after that, it looks like it may be Algonquin, and I'll keep you posted as we know more. Again, it is a combination of Postingkill and Sand Lake for this youth camp. I believe it's like kindergarten to 8th grade, up to 8th grade, or going into 8th grade. And applications will soon be going out with the different cutoff dates on applications. And there will be, at present time, there will be pre-camp care from like 7 to 9, and then post-camp care from like 4 to 5. So parents have that little buffer time to bring their children and drop them off on the way to work and then pick them up on the way home. That's my understanding at present time, but as we know more information, we will pass that out. Thank you very much for listening. Anyone from CAC here? We are in the process of restaffing that. Greg Patno has been gracious enough to volunteer to be on that. Don Sweezy is also on that. We'll be adding one more member to that organization, and it will become more active hopefully this year as we proceed with the comprehensive plan. Okay, first discussion item is revising the current density law with planning board recommendations. Initial discussions. This is going to take a long time, but initial discussions. Mr. Gilchrist was gracious enough to supply us with a draft of what Brunswick had proposed. The planning board had reviewed it, and then the planning board had made several suggestions on that to help bring the town code more in line with what we're looking for. First recommendation is that single-family development should be exempt from the proposal. The concern is that numerous single-family lots could suddenly become undevelopable with the application of proposed regulations. The second recommendation from the planning board is that specific exception be included to allow the development of 2 separate single-family homes on a single tax parcel. This would only be permitted if the applicant can demonstrate that each single-family home could meet all the normal dimensional requirements, setbacks, etc. If the parcels were to be split and the homes were to stand, they would be in conforming with the zoning at that location. And the owner ever applied to subdivide a single parcel with the 2 homes and 2 parcels, it would be legitimate. And the third and fourth recommendations apply to specific sections in the code. Planning board recommends that no density bonus be allowed. In A2, the recommended density bonus be 25% increase over the base density. These are recommendations from the planning board, which the town board will review, and we will try and work into the to the draft procedure that we have now. Comments? We will continue to discuss this, but first we have to bring it out and present it to the public and tell what's going on, and we have to go through it. And we will keep you posted, and if changes are made, naturally there'll be a public hearing, and we will try and get our code squared away so as to avoid the situation that occurred at the end of 2022 and early 2023 on the west edge of town. Second item on the discussion, establishing a local law to provide defense and identification of town officers and employees. I put forth a draft model on the law for 2024, because at present time, if I'm correct, Andy, that we don't have this protection for town employees under our current code, right?
Correct.
Thank you very much, and thank you for supporting this. So we have pushed this out, and asking if any members of the board have any questions on that. The only thing that was tailored from the original draft that Andy was gracious to provide is just a changing of the dates to bring it up to 2024 as opposed to 2023. And then at the tail end of the draft, there were 5 paragraphs that were not applicable to our town that were deleted from that. But it's something I think we should give very serious consideration for, review, and then try and put it through as a local law.
I, for one, our insurance renewing in April, the company had asked that we have this in place. So if we could get that on for next month.
Yes, please. We'd like to bring it on for a February meeting, and just ask that everybody take the time to go through it. Have questions, please ask, and we need to get this up and into effect as soon as possible, prior to our April renewal time with the insurance company.
So if I could, again, just discussing the procedure, the board has the chance to review this. Any comments, any questions, probably appropriate for your workshop meeting at the end of the month. Get the proposed introductory local law into final form to be then introduced by a member. Once it's introduced, then we can set the public hearing. Once the public hearing is held and you consider the public comments, you'd be in a position to adopt the local law. And just keep that in mind. That's the process to go through to amend your code and adopt this local law for defense and indemnification. And if you're looking to get that done between April, that should continue.
Thank you very much, Andy. Comments from anybody else on the board?
So this is, at this point in time, we're at risk until this is done. Is that true?
The board,
individual people.
correct.
Employees.
Certainly the board would always have the discretion on a case-by-case basis to address this. This is not an unusual provision in many municipal codes. They have the defense and indemnification provisions. This wasn't in your code. Doesn't mean that the town board couldn't, on a particular case-by-case basis, choose to provide defense. This would be better to have in place to make sure that it is there for on every occasion, and your carrier requested that that be in your code as well.
Other questions? Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Andy. Okay, we're moving to action items. First item, resolution to change the town board workshop meeting start time from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and that'll be held on the 4th Thursday of each month.
You need
Got it. Do you want me to read it?
Please.
I don't see it in my packet. It's on the electronic version, sorry.
What number?
Resolution designating time of regular workshop meetings of the Pleasantville Town Board. Whereas the town board is designated the 4th Thursday of each month for workshop meetings, and whereas the town board seeks to confirm the time that such meetings will start, now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Pleasantville on regular session duly convened as follows.
Town Board of the Town of Pleasantville hereby designates that its workshop meeting scheduled for the fourth Thursday of each month shall start at 7 p.m. unless such time is changed for any particular workshop meeting through a notice to be posted in the town signboard and town website. And I so moved.
I'll second.
Okay, David, come on. And Eric, do you-
Dave got it.
David, take a second. Okay,
Councilman Butler,
Yes.
Councilman House,
Yes.
Councilman Brzezzi,
Yes.
Councilman Oliver,
Yes.
and Supervisor Russell.
yes, please. Thank you very much. Okay, second item in action items, resolution to confirm the official Poston Kill holiday schedule.
You have it, I'll read it, sorry. Just don't have it. So resolution 2 of 2024. Whereas the town board seeks to designate the official holidays observed by the town of Postonville for 2024. Let it therefore be resolved the town board of the town of Postonville in regular session duly convene as follows. Should I read them out? Should I read them out?
You certainly
Okay,
can.
I'll read them out, sorry. Town, for the town of Postville hereby designate the following holidays to be observed by the town of Postville for 2024. New Year's, Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 15th. President's Day, Monday, February 19th. Memorial Day, Monday, May 27th. Juneteenth, Wednesday, June 19th. Independence Day, Thursday, July 4th. Labor Day, Monday, September 2nd. Columbus Day, Monday, October 14th. Veterans Day, Monday, November 11th. Thanksgiving, Thursday, November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving, the 29th. Christmas, the 25th. I so move.
Okay. Although, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Lindsay, I'm taking your thunder, excuse me.
Councilwoman Butler,
Yes.
Councilman House,
Yes.
Councilman Brzezzi,
Yes.
Councilman Oliver,
Yes.
and Supervisor Russell.
Yes, please. Okay. Third item, under action items, the revision of the water code of the existing water code to allow for sending estimated readings under emergency situations as needed, as approved by the town board.
My name hasn't changed, the address hasn't either, I don't think.
Thank you, Mr. Basil.
Is there in the water code, I should know, but don't, is there a stipulation in there now for estimated readings?
There is a allowance there for one-time estimated readings. But unfortunately, because of the situation, Bill, correct me on this if I'm wrong, we're having a situation with the antenna and also with the old software package that we're currently reading. A replacement, Bill did order additional replacement antennas and an updated software package. But that software package probably won't be here till mid-February, maybe late January, and because that, it's put us behind an 8 ball, so to speak. And we're just trying to get the billings out, but then get to a point where we can give accurate readings to each individual who's currently in water district number 1.
Okay,
And that's
that makes sense, but is there any other emergency situations that might arise out of this?
Not that I'm aware of at the present time.
Okay, and would this affect more than one billing cycle? Because it's quarterly, correct?
Right, it is quarterly, and we have had to make estimations in the past, yes. But unfortunately, it's gotten to a higher number now because of the problem with the antennas and the software package. We're trying to improve and update the antennas and improve our software so as to remove this problem. Unfortunately, there may be 1, 2, 3, 5 people in future quarterly readings, but we don't want the extended 80 that we have. We're trying to beat this down and move smoothly.
So after all the new antennas are installed and everything gets run it again, there shouldn't be at least maybe 1/4 of estimated buildings. It shouldn't be 2 or 3.
We don't, no, it doesn't
We
do
don't
any good to
foresee that.
drag it on. Doesn't do any good for the resident, doesn't do any good for the town. We're trying to come up with honest, accurate readings, and that's what we're shooting at.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Basil.
So since this is in the code, we're going to have to revise the code, which would be a public hearing.
Correct. Correct. I would raise that. Right now, the code does limit the number of estimated readings to 1 additional billing cycle. One way to address that is amending your code with language such as or unless approved by the town board. Some language like that. I haven't looked at that yet. But yes, you're correct. Right now, your code does restrict you to only 1 extra. So I do think introducing a local law and getting that code changed with that language to authorize the board legally to issue additional billing cycles if needed on estimated billings.
Thank you very much, Andy. Thank you, John.
And if the board would direct that, I could certainly put that together for a review at your workshop meeting.
Thank you, Andy. Most appreciative of your assistance, Brad. Most appreciative. David, anybody, anything? Eric?
No, just that it's fair to say that this is for a small percentage of the overall water district. These are folks whose antennas aren't working and haven't been working for some time, and we're trying to ask them to, then we have to estimate more than once, because we don't want
We're
to.
asking them to bear with us
Right.
as we work through this.
And I assume that if the estimates are high, they'll get refunded at the next billing cycle.
Without question.
And we've done away with all penalties till we resolve it on our end, like, there's no penalties and stuff like that. We resolved all that till we go ahead and move.
Thank you, Bill. No, just asking.
No, just if I got to say, let's say they're estimated low, we should make sure that they aren't going to be hit with something very, high bill right away.
Right, that's why we have first responders, so if we do come in with a very large bill, they can quickly come in and take care of it. But no, we're trying to do this fairly and
I was
trying
looking for a different way.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you going through that. Mr. Basil, any other questions?
No.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Item number D or 4 is the comprehensive plan. Approval of the action plan proposed by the Reverge Group to begin the 2024 comprehensive plan creation. In the packets, I did try and put in the proposal that the Burge had put forward to us on what they're looking to do with the comprehensive plan, setting up workshops, setting up resident information exchanges, and I'm asking that town board look at it, and there's also the memo of understanding.
Memorandum of understanding.
Memorandum of understanding, which we need to sign, or review and then sign.
Review and authorize, correct.
Right. Okay. And what would it take to finalize on that?
On that, subject to the board's review, reviewing the memorandum of understanding with the Greenway on the grant. You've gone through that. If the board wants to move forward with that, it would simply be a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding based on the terms and conditions and authorizing the supervisor to execute that on behalf of the town.
Thank you very much, Andy.
But as I said, understand that would then commit the town to move forward with the comprehensive plan, as proposed, so.
Which is what we're looking to try and do.
Correct.
Because we need to get a new comprehensive plan. The last one was back in the early 2000s, and we're trying to put the pieces in place to do that, and this was an avenue that we decided to move on.
So if you're ready to do that, certainly entertain a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with the Hudson River Greenway Council and authorize the supervisor to execute that agreement.
Make the motion that we do all those things.
Very good. Approve the memorandum of understanding and authorize the supervisor to execute the agreement.
So moved.
I second that motion. All those in favor of approving the memorandum of understanding with the Hudson River Greenway Association to commence the comprehensive plan creation? Aye. Thank you very much. And thank you, Junior, David, Frank, thank you very much. One and all. I appreciate it. Okay, it's time for reports. I am most appreciative of the opportunity to present a report as supervisor. I thank everyone on town board, Andy, in the town hall, DJ, your crew, Bill, you, Tara. I thank everyone for working with me as I'm trying to learn and get things going in a positive direction. It's been a privilege, and I know I've said this before, and I'm not trying to beat a horse with this one, but it's been an honor and a privilege to work to assist the town. As far as what's going on since January 1, we've had the situation with Mr. Geyer, who's back willing to do dog control for us. He's the gentleman who had the fire on Christmas morning. He's put himself back in order, and we've been able to get the chip reader for him to assist him in his work. Betsy has been top-notch, phenomenal in her work to try and understand the fiscal situation that we're in and to give us some guidance on that. She's working consistently. She's been able to work with the IRS. We have been able to pay the Q3 and Q4 taxes that were due just the federal government from 2021, and the forms have been filed accordingly. The state was handled in Q3 and Q4 for 2021, which was great. We were unsure, and finally we were able to make contact, and that's been squared away. But Betsy has done a phenomenal job. The youth camp, I tried to give some of an update as I started earlier when it was their turn to make a presentation. We're trying to move forward. We will be moving forward with that. We will have youth camp again this summer. The location is still in works, but we will post the town on that. And it will be, we've got 5 weeks, it looks like. We're trying to start the week of the 8th and then go into early August. And as I said, it'll be 5 days, and there'll be some trips, and they will be pre-camp and post-camp care. Senior citizen and fire contracts have been taken care of for 2024. And again, I thank everybody for their help with me on the first 2 weeks. It's deeply appreciated. Andy, you share them?
Briefly, aside from routine matters, I did have the opportunity, and I'll repeat the privilege of sitting down with the new supervisor and going over some transition issues. Still looking for researching and looking into a few of those, and I'll be coordinating with the supervisor on that. So
thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate the continuing position. Thank you.
Most appreciative of your services, sir. Okay, town clerk's report.
For the month of December 2023, the town clerk took in $11,624.57. Of that amount, $10,940.58 was turned over to the supervisor.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you, Nancy.
We need a motion.
Do we have a
Make a motion to accept.
Do we have a motion to accept? Thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the town clerk's report? Thank you, Eric. June seconds. All those in favor of accepting the town clerk's report? Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? The assessor's report, it's in the packets. But what I would like to note is that the 2024 assessment roll exemption filing deadline is March 1, 2024 for all exemptions. Please keep that in note, that it's March 1, 2024. Betsy asked me to remind everybody on that. And you can have the option of returning the required forms in documentation by mail, in person, or utilize the town drop box outside this door. But please note, if you're looking to make an exception, please do it by March 1st. And the assessor's office, Michelle is there on Thursdays, and Betsy and Michelle are there on Mondays, so they are there to service you. Please take advantage of it. Thank you. Water managers report. You'll find that in your packets, and Bill was gracious enough to outline everything. And one big note is that the new software package for reading, you'll be here hopefully by the end of January or early February, so we can get back on stick, so to speak. And they have done other work. They've done 3 dig safes in the town this month. New antennas that have failed have been replaced, is what he had from inventory, and a new water pump has been installed at the pump house. And anything that I missed, Bill? Thank you very much for your efforts, sir. Thanks. Okay, building inspector's report. Tracy has his information sheet in each of the packets. He reported on the fire at Mr. Geyer's on Christmas morning, and the results of that. And there's also, as was mentioned by our new fire chief, there is a situation, there has been a couple situations regarding generators and carbon monoxide in the homes. I think yesterday was the last case of that over here on 351. So as was brought up by our new fire chief, please keep in mind the dangers of carbon monoxide and be smart if you have your generators. Have them point away from the house, not towards the house or towards the windows. Last report is from our highway superintendent, which you'll find in all the packets. I'd like to compliment DJ on his thorough and his crew's thorough work on this, and great report, and again, the great service that you have given the town day after day.
I just want to mention, we've been out the past couple days chipping storm damage on our roads and residents' brush, but with another windstorm coming Saturday, if anybody in the town has brush, just try to call the highway garage before we get more measurable snow. I don't want to see it get missed and then get plowed in and be a mess for us to have to clean up, or the resident have to clean up and reorganize. So just some thought.
Thank you very much, DJ. Next item we have is the budget transfer. And the request is to transfer $17,330.95 from account A as in Apple 1990, general fund contingency, to account number 251122, which is highway permanent improvements. And this is the work that was required from the storm in the very end of December?
End of December, yeah, it was just after Christmas.
Okay. Do you want to say what you did?
If you'd like, yeah. So, I believe it was Monday, like the 29th or 30th, we had that 5-inch rain event in a section of 56 Road. We had a landslide. It was about 30 foot deep, 20 feet wide, took off into the creek, and we had to hire some contractors and work with us and rebuild it with large stone and medium stone fill to stabilize the bank, so we didn't in jeopardy of losing any sections of the road. So it was unplanned event, rather than having to take 17,000 out of this year's highway budget to start the year. Took 2 days to fix.
And they did a very good job.
Yeah, it came out great. We had crews on the ground and stuff going on Tuesday morning, the next day, so it was fixed pretty quick.
Yeah, and very professional, very nicely done.
Do you need a motion to approve this? I'd like to make a motion.
No, you make the motion first, we'll have discussion.
Okay. David, please.
I made the motion.
I'll second.
Frank, thank you very much.
So then on discussion, my memory tells me that we put $19,000 away for contingency this year. Does that sound right to anybody?
Yes, it
So
does.
then we're gonna
That's where it's.
spend almost all of that on this, which is fine. It's a good route to spend it. But my question was this, was we did last year talk about creating a contingency budget line for the highway department. So can we, I want to approve this for sure, but this will own out our entire budget for the year on day one, which isn't fine, we have money, it's not a big deal. The question is, should we now then do the highway department? Have their own contingency budget line.
Yeah, okay, definitely for 2025, I was going to ask that that be done. I had an in-depth conversation with Betsy, who's our bookkeeper, in reference to this budget transfer and what accounts to pull it from. And we went back and forth, and she felt that at the present time, we can pull it from general fund contingency. And then as we get a better handle on exact finances that as we move through the year or through the spring, we'll be able to possibly replenish the contingency, general fund contingency to bring it to 19. But we definitely need, especially for the 2025 budget, to have the highway department, to have a contingency because of the weather situations. That is something I think would be needed. That's my personal feeling on that, and that's what I would ask for. But there's 5 members on the board, and everybody has their opinion on what should be done and what shouldn't be done.
There's nothing we can do for this year because we already approved the budget for this year.
Correct.
Well, I did ask that, I did think that $19,000 wasn't enough money, but I did ask to see that number improve, but it wasn't passed. But no, there's nothing better to spend this money on than this, but I'm concerned that we're 11 days into the new year and we're 90% of our contingency budget is gone.
We, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, if we need to, we can make resolutions to alter the budget for the year if it's something very important. Is that correct?
Dave,
I recall we had this discussion years ago, and that if we really had to do something in the middle of the year, we could do something.
Something in terms of
passing a law that basically alters the budget.
You certainly always have the ability to do budget transfers as in between various lines.
Right.
It gets a little complicated as in between like water district issues and general fund issues. Certainly could not generate additional, let's say, tax revenue. That's done. The tax bills were set, the rates were set, the bills are out. So there's that.
What
amount
about
of
if it
money.
was pulled from unexpended balance?
Right, so for instance, I'll give you this example. An extraordinary amount of sales tax revenue, for whatever reason, comes into the town beyond what you had budgeted as anticipated revenue. Could that fall into the unallocated, unassigned budget surplus? Sure it could. That then be used either to replenish contingency or used for light item? Sure it could.
Would be required to pass a formal resolution for that?
Yes, I would, acknowledging that came in. It was basically unallocated, unassigned budget surplus.
Right.
Would be used for this purpose to document that, for sure. Yeah, but that can be done. You can't simply generate more through
Understood.
your property tax base.
Right.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate that clarification. Okay, payment of bills. I'm sorry.
Vote on it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Excuse me for rushing through my inexperience. Any other discussion in reference to what went on up at 56 Road? Okay, do I have okay, we have the motion, we have it seconded. All those in favor of the budget transfer?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? 5-0. Thank you.
Easy.
Okay, now we have payment of bills.
I'd like to move that we pay the general and highway bills of $31,515.34.
I'll second that. Any discussion, any comments? All those in favor of paying general and highway?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? 5-0, Lindsay.
I'd like to move that we pay the highway bills of $99,554.75.
June seconded. All those in favor of paying the highway bill, 99,000 change?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Water?
That was included in the, I added it up together.
Okay,
We always report it that way.
Okay, so the water bills,
Included in that 31,515.
should we vote on that?
No, I thought you did say
I said-
general and water.
Right, I always,
I think the motion was for general and water.
correct.
Thank you, David. Okay,
Two of them, actually.
public comment period again. Okay. Any reason for executive session?
Yeah, I believe so. We're supposed to go in executive session to speak about, our insurance's attorney and the things he had.
Sure, we can do that briefly, and the
Okay.
motion would be to move into executive session to discuss potential litigation.
Okay, we would like to move now into executive session to discuss potential litigation. Do I have a second?
Frank second.
Thank you, Frank. Thank everyone for coming, for taking the time to sit and listen. We appreciate it. A very nice evening to you all.
No problem.